Right. Today we have day 173 of going live. I'm doing what I love doing best. I got Mike Yates from the Sub2 community today. He asked for a little bit of help underwriting deals. So I figured, why not just do this live so that everybody can benefit? So to be super clear, we're not soliciting any investments on this call. This is not investment advice. This is purely entertainment. Mike and I just practicing underwriting deals. That's all we're doing. Please consult with your own investment professionals. Hey, Mike, man, introduce yourself, man. I had a great conversation with you yesterday, and somehow my calendar freed up, and now we're analyzing a deal together, man. Tell the
Appreciate.
community a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Thanks so much. Yeah, I think I'm just kind of going through the community, meeting a bunch of people, and finding my spot. It's been an amazing, I guess, 60-day ride and meeting all kinds of cool people. And I was lucky enough to find some time in your schedule recently to be able to have a conversation with you. There was a ton of stuff that you were doing that I was so interested in. Since then, I've been um, engulfing all of your content, a lot of your content on YouTube and going through the underwriting process. I did bug you again earlier today for the underwriting spreadsheet to be able to calculate some of these deals. And I had a deal, like I said to you prior to going live, that I'm kind of one of those fish out there that as soon as somebody sends me something in the title that says immediate long-term rental cash flow, I jump all over it. So this is one of those ones that was sent to me by a sub-2 leader, and I went through the process on the spreadsheet that you sent me, and I kind of just wanted a sanity check so that I could do hundreds of these myself and find deals that I was interested in. So
Let's go. I love it, man.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love it, Mike. I want to get your IG handles out in case people want to follow you. How do people find out more about you and follow you?
Instagram is M Yates 7, and Facebook is Mike Yates. So
All right. People give them
yeah,
a
thank you
follow.
so
I
much,
always love
man.
to support people that are in the community and help them thrive. So
I
I mean,
appreciate
I'm
you
just here
very
to
much.
help. I'm just
Yeah,
here to help.
appreciate it.
So talk me through this deal that you got. Let's
All
see if we
right,
can do something
so
together.
I got a deal that was sent to me in the sub-2 community from one of the leaders. It is a four-bedroom, two-bath, 1,582 square feet in Taylor, Michigan. A little bit about the deal. Total price was 207, 0755, so $207,007.55. The loan balance was 167,000 approximately. PITI was about $1,162. It's a 3.75 FHA loan. And then there's a little bit of seller carry in the form of a $50 payment for 100 months that is done after 100 months. So being as kind as you are, I took your spreadsheet and kind of started plugging things in. So Kent, please use this as well, you missed that, or a teaching session rather than me kind of. I'm not 100% sure I did this right. So I put the asking price in, or the price that they're asking
Mm-hmm.
was 20707.55.
Yep.
The next step I took was I did go through the process that you show us, or you showed on your YouTube, of the crime rate, finding fair market rents, all of
Mm-hmm.
those wonderful things. I don't have those websites off the top of my head. If you want to say them now for whoever's watching, that might be
Yeah,
of
you
use.
just go to you can Google HUD FMR and you can find the small area FMR for this website. Let me see. Let me see. Let me share my screen really quick. It's just so because I think you only want to share the spreadsheet, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, let me take over the screen and what do you know remember what the county was for this property?
Yeah, it's Wayne County.
Okay. Michigan. For those that are following, we're trying to get the rent ceiling right now for Wayne County. And what was the zip code?
48180.
All right. And it's a four bed, you said, or a three
Yep.
bed?
Four bed, two bath.
Four bed. So four bed, two bath. Your maximum rent is 1,500. Great. And
Yeah.
what was the address again? Let's go to affordablehousing.com. Let's get the market rent for this.
Awesome. It's 25,373 Goddard, Goddard
Got it.
Road,
Four bed, right?
Taylor, Michigan. Yep, 48180.
So yeah, 1638. So the market rent's higher than your rent ceiling. So I might go with 1,500. Is that what you have there?
I do. Yep. In my
Excellent.
spreadsheet, I put in monthly income rents of $1,500. So,
Nice.
yeah. Do you
Did you
want
have
to?
photos of the property?
I had a hard time. I do have a file that was sent to me by the people that are selling it or
Okay.
wholesaling it with pictures. The pictures are. It looks like, to be honest with you, it looks to me like it's a fix and flip. But I don't know 100% sure because I haven't asked them.
Does it
But
look like these photos right here
let me
that I
just.
put on realtor.com?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay. So they put off realtor.com.
I didn't go to
That's
realtor.com. I went to Redfin and I went to Zillow. So I guess I should add realtor.com to my arsenal.
yeah, for some reason times like either one of these websites usually have it. Trulia, Realtor, Zillow, or a thing. Yeah, they didn't have it on Zillow. They had it on Realtor though.
I also looked on, I have a PropStream account and it didn't come up. It showed as sold on PropStream and there wasn't any pictures on PropStream. So
Okay. Well, I think realtor.com had it, so that was
yeah,
perfect.
perfect.
And it looks
Yeah,
pretty much
so
turnkey for the most part.
yeah, it was turnkey from a renovation standpoint. I had let me just go here. I had $1,500 for a roof repair patch because I can't obviously tell if the roof was. Thought that was
Mm-hmm.
probably pretty standard to keep in there. I
Mm-hmm.
kept in there the $500 for landscape and cleanup.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Um, and then I did, because it was 1,500 square feet and there was some carpet in some of the bedrooms, I just halved that to 750 square feet at $8 a square. Came out to
Nice.
$1,000 to replace the carpet.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the only other rehab cost I had in there, I think that was it. And then the 20% contingency that you have on the bottom of your rehab calculator. So it came out to
Nice.
$9,600 total for the rehab.
Cool. What was the crime score for this area? You
The
remember?
crime score for this area was 90, I want to say.
That's
I mean,
pretty good. That looks pretty in line with what I see on the streets. Doesn't look like,
91 actually. I'm sorry.
yeah, looks pretty good on the street. Doesn't look like,
Yeah, it looks like it's a busy road. It looks like there's some like estate lots.
yeah.
Um, and there is some commercial space up the road from it, but um,
Yeah, I mean, you're
the
not seeing
lots.
like buildings that are blown up or anything like that.
No, no,
So,
no. But if you notice, the lots look a lot bigger. Like across the street, I noticed like lots were bigger. So those are actually more recent than the ones that I had on my street view.
got it. Atik Raymond. Atik. I'll show you something like I do sometimes. Raymond. Sometimes if I see local businesses around my neighborhood, I just look up some businesses. And sometimes what I do is if I want to see if this is like a bad neighborhood, I might try to look up some. Wait, this is Marshfield. Where is your 2541 Goddard? Sometimes I look around surrounding businesses,
Oh,
and if there's anything that
mine
talks
is
about
mine is 25373.
oh 25373 Goddard.
So it's
Okay.
processed. Yeah.
And then I just try to quickly look at like, are there any reviews for surrounding businesses? Like, if you ever see a CVS out there and you just go to the reviews and you type in the word neighborhood, if people if people ever say like, oh, this is a very sketchy neighborhood, then usually that's like a good sign. That's a bad sign.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that. I'm just like, this is just one thing I actually do extra. If I'm like, hey, I'm getting serious about this area. Do I want to know more about the area?
A little
How
bit
else do I
weird.
look at the neighborhood And if I say, okay, this is right next to the airport, are there any CVS's around here? There's a Home Depot right down the street. That's good for jobs. Neighborhood. And sometimes usually it's those like neighborhood shops like a Walgreens or Walmart. Great for that's not a really good review. So I don't see any red flags. That's what I was trying to go for to see where
Yeah.
I see something that jumped out at me. So
And
just something for you to
again,
figure out.
yeah, let me just put that in there
I'll,
that those for somebody like me, those are like super awesome tips, and I greatly appreciate those because those are like, I think that the devil's in the detail for sure, and that those would be things that would be nice, obviously, to have in my tool belt if I was digging deeper and I was getting ready to buy this property. Thank you so much for
yeah. You're
yeah.
welcome. Go ahead and share your screen again. Let's go through the numbers now that we did all those stuff. So just to recap everybody, what we've done so far is we got the deal details, we've gotten the HUD FMR, we got the market rent, and we took the lower of those two for our rental assumptions right now as a long-term rental. We did a street drive-by to get a gauge of the neighborhood, and then afterwards we got the crime score, and that kind of validated what we're seeing on the streets with the crime score, which is below average. And now we are plugging in all the numbers to see what this deal looks like. Go
So
ahead,
just again,
Mike.
quickly take it from the top, Ken, 207 approximately asking price. Reno was 9,600 based on the rehab calculator that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Monthly income, we wanted to use about 1,500 bucks as
Mm-hmm.
the rent. That was kind of the lowest common denominator. And then based on the mortgage statement that I received from the sellers or the wholesalers, principal was 278.18. Interest was 517.59.
Mm-hmm.
And then the um, property taxes and insurance were 366.25. I apologize. I'm not 100% sure what that 99.21 is
That's
in there.
coming from that seller finance piece for the 5 grand, I'm guessing, that you were hoping to spread over 100 payments. Am I thinking
Oh,
about that
okay.
correctly?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think it's 50. No, it's 100 months. So it's $50 a month for 100 months. So it ended up being about 4.17 years. Um, but I'll kind of keep that 99.21 in mind. So then I kind of just kind of followed the spreadsheet as it kind of rolls out as I would
Mm-hmm.
read it. War chest was 10%. I didn't change any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Property manage at 10%, vacancy at 8%. I thought, like, in all honesty, I'm guessing that that's probably a little bit high because there is a high school down the road. The lot is decently sized. It looks like a decent neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, a long-term rental in there would turn over probably less than 20% of the time, I guess, or 8% of the time. But so I guess just by looking at this already, we see it's a loss leader at 181.23 deficit every month
Mm-hmm.
to cash flow. But just kind of going through the process as I'm learning, and it's important for me to go through every detail of the process just to make sure that I
Mm-hmm.
put everything in here as I should have. Again, here we go. It's 4 bedrooms. The zip code is 48180.
Mm-hmm.
The rents again we used at 1,500. I did see that on the affordable housing website, the 3.73 mile radius average rent was $1,638.
Mm-hmm.
But the fair market rent was the one that we went with was $1,500. Um,
Correct.
kind of moving through the spreadsheet as I did, it's in a negative cash flow of about $181 a month. So here's kind of where I got stuck. So the purchase price, do I put the purchase price in here because I'm not fully paying the whole 207, I guess. I I didn't understand this part of the spreadsheet. If you could help me with this part, Kent.
So what is your entry fee?
My entry fee is $35,000 plus closing costs.
And plus closing costs, we've got you might be able to load a closing cost like 3% or 2.5%. That seems pretty high for yeah, I might load it at 3%.
Okay.
I put it at 4% because we were underwriting a deal that was under 100 grand, and that
Okay.
seemed a little unrealistic for it to be. I think they only had like 2 grand, and I was like, it's definitely not going to be 2 grand. Definitely higher. So multiply that by 0.03. Boom. Okay. So you got $35,000 cash or seller. And
Yeah.
as of right now, you're just trying to figure out on a cash flow basis, right? So you don't have to worry about the purchase price and the down payment because sometimes wholesalers will lump everything together with their assignment fee and the cash to sellers to muddy the water a little bit so you don't know how much money they're making. And
Mm-hmm.
that's okay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you want to look at the cash flow. So what is the total PITI that was disclosed to you? I know you saw the mortgage statement, but what was the total PITI?
1162.
1162. That included the seller finance piece.
Yes.
Okay, so I would go to
Actually,
B28.
no. The 11, hold on just a second. The 1162 was the PITI at 3.75 FHA, and then there was additional $50 monthly payment to the seller for 100 months. It goes away. And I added that if you look over under funding loan number one.
Hmm. Well, you can just
That's
back
where I
into it,
put that
right?
piece in. Pardon
Sometimes
me?
people, you can back into it. And by that, I mean, if you go to just B28, what I was doing was just backing into it. So if you go to B28,
Yeah.
let's do it out, right? Let's type it out. So let's do equals 1162, which is your PITI, right? Equals 1162 plus $50, which is the seller finance piece, plus 50.
Yeah.
And then you're going to subtract B20. Yep. Subtract B21 and subtract B22. Oh,
Sorry for that.
subtract. Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And this is how you back into the exact amount. I think you can't do a yeah, do subtract
Yeah.
instead of colon. Yeah. Subtract B21
Uh,
and then subtract one more time. Hit the
yeah.
minus. Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
And that gets you to the exact amount. Because sometimes people mess around with it and they're like, oh, my interest and principal isn't exactly the same. It doesn't matter. You just care about the monthly payment in total
Mhm.
and you subtract out the principal interest in whatever loans that you have. And that gets you to your total escrow amount, which is taxes and insurance.
Okay.
Now, this is a FHA loan. So someone's probably living there as a primary residence when they bought it. So
Mhm.
your insurance policy should be more expensive when you turn this into an investment property. So
Okay.
I would add at least like 25 to $30 on the insurance line,
Okay.
right? That's your additional or incremental insurance cost because you in the line 28, B28, you already have the existing taxes and insurance for a primary residence. So you need to add an extra premium for the insurance for an
Yeah, renter.
investment property,
Yeah, investment. Yeah,
right?
yep. Yep.
So that's in 29. So that this gets you to the closer amount. And then on your purchase price, it doesn't really matter because all we're doing is just doing cash flow. So right now you're at negative 4.7% on this deal.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's what you care most about. You're negative 162.
Exactly.
Now, the only thought I had for is like, okay, this doesn't work for Section 8, quote unquote, because your ceiling rent is 1,500. But
Yep.
if you were to rent it out for the market rate of 1638, which is what we saw on market on affordablehousing.com, right? You change that to 1638. Now you'll probably be closer to break even.
Which
1638.
yeah, which I'm also not looking for though.
Oh, there you go. Then it's not a deal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so most importantly, I just wanted to make sure that I put the numbers in properly. So just if we finish the last kind of section or columns J and
Mm-hmm.
K,
Mm-hmm.
so I said the funding loans, the principal was 167,007.55 at 3.75%. It's a 30-year term. I had it beginning March 1st, 2024 because it expired in April of 2052.
Mm-hmm.
12 payments a year. And then the funding loan, this is the second one. This is that $100 or $50 a month for 100 months.
Mm-hmm.
I just took 100 months divided by 12. It gave me 4.16 or whatever. So I just rounded to 4.2 years,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? 12 payments a year.
Mm-hmm.
Start date would have been March 1st. Obviously that's a five, there's no balloon. That's a total of $5,000. And then there's no other loans on this, so that's kind of all left blank.
Yep.
And then so that kind of gets us to the finish of. So this is obviously loses $162 at the kind of Section 8 underwriting or fair market rent
Mm-hmm.
estimation that we looked at on the websites. If I used the Other calculator at 1638, it still loses about 60 or still loses about $50 a month. So I am I'm obviously going to pass on this deal. Just the other questions about some of the sections of this spreadsheet here.
Hmm.
Down here in A40 to A53. So basically, you just kind of take the 4 bedrooms and the zip code, and then you kind of put in the rent that you're putting in there. So then that's the
And
4 bedroom. So
and
what is
and Mike,
the
just to clarify for this part, this is what I would call free space, which means that you get to put here whatever you want. Normally, what I do is if it's a 3 bedroom property in A41, I will get the rents for a 3 bedroom. And in A42, I'll get the rents for a 4 bedroom. And that's because sometimes you can creatively get extra rents by, let's say, converting a garage into an additional bedroom. So
yeah?
as is, it might not work. But if you get a bonus $500 per month in rent because you turn it from a 3 bed to a 4 bed, then that's a scenario you want to be aware of because Section 8 typically pays by bedroom and not bathroom counts.
There you go. Anybody that's watching, there's the magician at work, Mr. Invest with Kent He, teaching the golden nuggets of some of the things that I would have never guessed, but that's excellent information. So then going down to 44 to 49. So the 3.7 mile radius, that was on affordablehousing.com. And
Mm-hmm.
then when it says zip, city, and county, what numbers are you putting there? Because, in your videos, you do talk about how you're underwriting these things so that when you do send them to people, they see that you're putting in the time and effort. And I think that that's adds a ton of value to anybody that's maybe going to be a PML or a PMP on any of these deals that I'm underwriting. What do you put in those lines there, Kent?
Oh, I just put right the numbers from affordablehousing.com because it's going to give you
Okay.
four numbers right there. And
Okay.
usually 44 through 48, that's a 3 bedroom, and 49 to 53 is a 4 bedroom rent. But you can also
Oh,
do
okay.
four
So I
bedroom
didn't
and five
have.
bedroom.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I see. I thought it was like because I saw you underwrite a duplex and one part of it, I see. Okay. Because
Right. That's what I mean by free space. It's whatever you
yeah,
want to put there, but
yeah.
it also shows my partners, hey, this is how I researched it. And if they say, hey, you got 25 units within a 1 mile radius, that's 1638, but everything in the zip code is 2500. Someone might say, are you buying something in the ghetto? Right. That's something that you got to think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, no, very much so. Okay, and with that said, is there anything that I missed? I didn't go on the creative finance analysis kind of tab on here. But is there anything that I missed on here that you would think that would be super important that an investor may want to look at if I was going to send this on?
Um, no, because it's a negative cash flowing deal.
Yeah, correct.
Now, if this was positive cash flowing, you might go and ask yourself, like, okay, I'm only going to get 3% return on this money. Well, what if I go back to the wholesaler and tell them, hey, I will only do this deal if you load your assignment from 10,000 to 5,000 because that's the only way I'm going to get 10% on this money. Right? That's
So
something
that would
that free.
mean, yeah, so that would mean the entry fee goes from 30,000 to, sorry, 35,000 to 30,000.
Mhm.
And that kind of changes how this whole thing works. So that's interesting. That's great. Another little tidbit.
Correct. Or you can say, hey, this is not a deal for me. What if you were right on the line and you say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to pay the seller $50 a month because what's the point? How about I just pay them like 5,500 at the end of 100 months or something like that. And that increases your monthly cash flow, right, on a monthly basis. So you're just looking for creative ways to figure out how do I make this
Yeah.
a good deal. But again, it's a negative cash flowing deal. I'm just proposing these scenarios for you to think through when the opportunity presents itself where like, hey, maybe you're on a line, you're at an 8% return. And in my opinion, 8% is also very hard to get excited about. But if you do have more levers and maneuvers to creatively structure the deal, then you just got to know where in the spreadsheet do you plug it in and try to figure back out and go back and negotiate when the time
Yeah, those are
comes.
the little, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, okay, cool. I greatly appreciate your help. Thank you so much. Your value is tremendous. Following your content is a huge help for me. And thank you everybody for watching. I will stop sharing my screen. Uh,
Nice. Well, Mike, thanks for doing the work, man. And thanks for inspiring others to follow in your footsteps and just do the work. Because this is really what it's all about. It's doing the work together. It's feels a little bit less lonely. And we're just all gonna have fun doing this together, man.
I can't agree more. Thank you so much, Kent. And
All right.
everyone else is watching, have a great day.
Good stuff, man. Thanks, Mike. And we are out. I'll be back here live again tomorrow.